Commissioners, this is Josh with Planning Department. Are you guys ready to go?
We're ready if you guys are.
All right. Chairman?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. So go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Right. So, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Eva, if you're there, if we could go ahead and have a roll call.
Chairman, this is Ashley. I will do your roll call today.
Okay.
Chairman Simon.
Present.
Vice Chair Munt.
Here.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah.
Commissioner Blazer. Commissioner Fay.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
All right, perfect. First item on the agenda is to get an approval of the agenda items. We do not have a study session tonight since we're in a special session. Go ahead and be hearing GP 21-06 Hopewell Industries and Z 21-08 Hopewell Industries. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
Yes, Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Is that Commissioner Bianchi?
Correct.
So we've got a motion to approve by the Vice Chair and a second by Commissioner Bianchi. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right. Motion carries. So we'll move on to communications. Communications at this time, members of the public may comment on matters within the jurisdiction of the town, but not on the agenda. The commission's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Ashley, do we have any community members online or in person that would like to comment at this time?
Chairman, we do not.
All right. So we will go ahead to our public hearing. Non-consent public hearing items may be heard at an individual public hearing and will be acted upon by the commission by separate motion. During the public hearings, anyone wishing to comment in support or in opposition to a public hearing item may do so. If you wish to comment on a public hearing item, you must fill out a public comment form indicating the item number on which you wish to be heard. Once the hearing is closed, there will be no further public comment unless requested by a member of the commission. And Ashley, I'll rely on you to let me know if we have any public that would like to comment. So for now, we'll go ahead and go to Josh, and Josh, we'll hear from you on GP 21-06 Hopewell Industries and Z 21-08 Hopewell Industries.
Thank you, Chairman. GP 2106 and Z 2108. It's a proposed rezone and minor general plan amendment just west of the southwest corner of Power and Warner Roads. This area may look familiar. This has seen a lot of movement in terms of development in the recent couple months, past year. Recently, Hopewell, which is the applicant for this proposal tonight, they also did an annexation and rezone for an industrial property, which is well underway on phase one, which you see on your site. And this is just a continuation. They're planning on a small little industrial commerce park, and tonight is approximately 12 acres of general office, and they're proposing to change that to light industrial, which is the phase two area highlighted on your screen. This is a conventional rezone, no planned area development overlay. Staff has not received any comment from the public regarding the request. Overall, in terms of the request, staff is in support of it. This is within the Power Road growth area, which, as shown in your packet, it is an area along Power Road from Elliott to Williamsfield that the town in our general plan, we are looking to promote the development of industrial business park and commercial shopping centers. So the request that Hopewell has brought forward to switch this from general office to light industrial is within the vision of the general plan that we've established. Other than that, I don't have any other information that I have. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but for the reasons that I have set forth in your staff report, staff recommends approval to the town council for the approval of GP 2106 and Z 2108. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Josh. Does anybody have any questions for Josh? Or do we have a presentation from the developer?
I had a question for Josh. This is Tyler Jones.
Yeah, Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. Josh, my question would just be on the rezone, when you go from office to light industrial and you have some adjacent residential. So remind me on as far as like a difference in height restrictions going from office to light industrial and also any potential changes in setbacks.
Chairman, Commissioner Jones, there is additional setbacks between light industrial and any residential use category. Off the top of my head, building setback is required to be at least a minimum 75 feet, which is quite substantial. And then in terms of height, if the buildings are within 100 feet of residential and above about 30 feet in height, anything above 30 feet within that 100 feet of residential the building has to be stepped back. So there are a lot of considerations in our code in regards to proximity to residential, and then also just the size of the building that is allowed within a certain distance.
So would you view this, Josh, as less impactful to adjacent residential neighbors, or worse off, or the same? How do you see that?
Commissioner Jones, I don't know how to answer that because in terms of impact, it's dependent on the use. But then there's also the stipulations in our code, just in regards to the building separation and the limitations on height and adjacency that are meant to balance out the light industrial use. Whereas a general office, they'd be allowed to be a lot closer to the residential. So I believe our code does a really good job of trying to balance out that impact going from general office to light industrial.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Any other questions for Josh at this time? Josh, do we have the developer or here for a presentation, or are we at that stage?
Commissioner, the developer is on the line. They don't have a presentation. However, they are available for any questions if you have them.
Okay. The only question I have, and I think that you already answered it, but just to clarify, at this time, we don't have any type of use that we're looking at for this. They're just looking at this point to get a zoning. And I know we're not into the use permit stage of this, but just looking from a understanding of what we're looking at or what they're potentially looking at for the down zoning or for for the zoning change.
Chairman Simon, you are correct. We don't have an active design review case for the site. However, we anticipate a very similar product to what is, I guess, a smaller version of what you see south in the Power Commerce Center, and then also what was approved on the Hopewell Industries Phase 1. So very similar uses and compatible with the overall direction this area is going
Okay.
and what's anticipated.
Any other questions for Josh? Do we have any community in person or online that would like to make comment at this time, Ashley?
There are no members in the audience and nobody online.
Okay. With that, I will close the public hearing. I'll bring it back up to the dais for a conversation and or a motion.
I don't have any problem with this, so that, you know, does anybody else have any qualms they'd like to discuss prior to a motion?
No, I think it's very consistent with what we're seeing in that overall region. So I think it's comparable from that standpoint.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Okay. I will then like to make a motion, Chairman, to approve project Z2108 Hopewell Industries.
All right, I have a motion to approve Z2108 Hopewell Industries. Do I have a second?
Yeah, is that the general plan first? The GP case first?
Oh, sorry, I did do the wrong one first. My apologies.
No worries.
I would like to then retract that motion, make a motion for GP 2106 Hopewell Industries.
All right, so we have a motion by the Vice Chair for GP 2106 Hopewell Industries to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Commissioner Bianchi seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the GP 2106 Hopewell Industries carries. Do I have a motion for the second on this?
Yes, Chairman, you do. I'd like to make a motion to approve Z21-08 Hopewell Industries.
Right, we have a motion to approve Z21-08 Hopewell Industries by the Vice Chair. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Who was that?
I'll do it, but I'm open to anyone else doing it too.
All right, I've got a second by Commissioner Fay. So I've got a motion to approve and a second by Commissioner Fay. Do all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, and that motion carries. So with that, we'll move on to communications. Do we have any communications at this point, Ashley, that we need to address?
We don't. Thank you for joining us for this special meeting, though.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. And we don't have an executive commission or session. I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your night to hear this.
Great to see all your smiling faces.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.